Hi, I'm Wyatt Cash at Scoop News Group, and we're here with Maria Roat, U.S. Deputy Federal Chief Information Officer at the Executive Office of the President, to talk about building a data-driven government. Maria, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Wyatt. I'm happy to be here.
Well, let me start by asking, given the explosion of data from intelligent applications and infrastructure, what's your vision for leveraging that data to become a more data-driven government, if you will, on behalf of agencies?
Yeah, thanks, Wyatt, for that. Across the federal government, we are continuing to build data maturity. You've seen this through the incremental actions and the federal data strategy last year. And really, last year's actions were focused on all of those foundational activities in governance, planning, infrastructure. And this year, we're going to continue to build on last year's learning, right? Agencies, we know, have diverse needs, resources, missions, and we're really promoting all of that information sharing through the CDO Council, and also through the agency evidence officers, the CIO Council, and interagency group. So you're seeing more and more how agencies are really driving to use data for those decisions that they need to make to support their mission.
Well, and to follow up on that, what's your vision for managing, securing, and analyzing data that's increasingly taking shape at the edge of agencies' enterprise environments?
Yeah, so with the CDOs, right, they need to be involved with the agencies, right? Whether it's their strategic planning activities, how data is going to be positioned as you're taking your data inventory, where data is stored, how that is, and that touches all of those things, right? You talked about managing, security, analyzing that data. So the CDOs really need a seat at the table as part of strategic planning activities with their CIO and with the agencies, and how that data will support the agency and enable those decision making. And in 2021, we're going to continue that data maturity that I mentioned. And we know agencies are further along the ladder than others, and many are already participating in those activities, including that evidence-based decision making and developing learning agendas. So as the agencies are conducting their inventory, the CDOs are working very closely with their CIOs, their CISOs, and assessing the ability to protect their data assets. So even as they do the evaluation, look at the inventory, what they have to work very closely with that CIO and CISO and where that data is stored and how they're protecting it. The executive order 13859, maturing American leadership in AI, was really designed to improve data and computing resources for AI. So this is where the CIO Council, working very closely with the CDO Council, leading those inventories, not just for data, but for AI, because that data feeds those AI models. So again, you're seeing that convergence of those entities working together, whether it's the CIO, the CISO, and others, to make sure that that data is protected, how it's being used, and understanding where it sits.
Well, thank you for putting a spotlight on that. Next, let me ask, how is the expected growth and distributed nature of digital workloads reshaping agencies' investment priorities around on-prem, hybrid, and public cloud environments as we kind of move forward over the next year or two?
Look, we saw over the last year how agencies really took advantage of the cloud to scale, right? To really grow, to respond to the demands of the CARES Act and other things. And agencies are continuing to move along that path, getting out of the data centers where it makes sense, shrinking those down, moving to cloud-based capabilities to allow for that scalability, that resilience, as well as, to securely improve the employees' productivity. So the distribution of the workloads in the clouds, as agencies are moving to zero trust networking, where the VPNs are built into the laptops, employees can connect right into the cloud securely. So again, those cloud capabilities, the resilience and the security, and bringing that into even some of the zero trust models, allows for that distributed workload and allows the agencies and the employees to really get to the workloads that they really need. So we're seeing how the investments are shifting over time again, the CapEx, OpEx model, how that is shifting as agencies are moving to the cloud and getting off the traditional on-prem and not investing in all of that hardware any longer and continuing to move on that journey. So you're certainly the costs are shifting overall.
Well, and then lastly, Maria, thinking about how digital transformation indeed helped agencies navigate through the pandemic, as you mentioned, what new plans are you seeing taking shape to build on that?
So we really saw how fast CIOs can move to enable the agency's mission in the pandemic. Agencies, move things that were way out in the planning cycle. They moved them way to the left so that they could execute them on immediately. So we saw how fast, with some funding, agencies could really move. So we have to continue to make sure that the resources were in place and continue to take advantage of the momentum that was created, right? So the resources, the momentum, and of course, policy and all of those things need to be in place to address those large IT challenges. And this is where, some of the capabilities, not only in the budget cycle, but with the TMF, a lot is allowing for that continued acceleration across the federal government. We've got to continue to eliminate those barriers, right? What are those things that are inhibiting the advancement of federal IT? That bureaucracy, we got it out of the way a year ago. We did it, we showed how we could do it. We have to continue that momentum. And we have to enable data sharing across the federal government, cross-government collaboration. We have to continue with that. We saw the need for that. The CIO Council highlighted that. And again, continuing to get bureaucracy out of the way, ask why we can't do something, get to the core of, if somebody says, no, we can't do that, well, show me the law, the guidance, or the regulation that says we can't do something. So we have to continue the data sharing, the cross-government collaboration, and that momentum. We are continuing to, deduplicate through shared services, right? We're seeing that with grants, the QSMOs, the financial, the work that CISA is doing, and the continual knowledge sharing across all of the CXO councils and committees in that landscape. But again, that continued knowledge sharing and the communication, and even through communities of practice. So the digital transformation is going to continue. It's going to help agencies navigate and continue to meet the mission. That digital transformation is not technology for technology's sake. It's about enabling the mission of the federal government.
Well, it certainly sounds like a lot of things are coming together to really help build momentum around a data-driven government. Maria Roat, thank you so much, as always, for taking time to join us and share some of your insights on the evolution of digital transformation in the federal government.
Great. Thanks, Wyatt.